Hi professionals, welcome back. Let's get started. As we already given the intro, let's dive into our first topic. So the key area and almost every interview will be facing this question, like it is an how to decide between sync and an async communication. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through with some tips so that you can remember these items and then you can answer it with your own words. Okay. So let's get started. We'll go with some factors how we need to decide between an async and sync. Okay. So to mental model to keep yourself preferred, synchronous communication is nothing but like an phone call. You'll be calling someone and you will be waiting for their response. And once their response is done, then you will be closing the call. It's like an one-to-one communication. Okay, keep that in mental mind that synchron is always like an you are speaking with someone and you are expecting some response from them. Okay, and async communication is also a way of communication like a post box or a messaging medium like our WhatsApp. We are sending a message, either way we are communicating, but we'll send the message and we'll do other stuffs. We won't be waiting for the persons to get back. Okay, so always keep this in mind so that this gives you a brief difference between a sync and async call. Okay, sometimes I too will be getting confused between sync and async, but keep this mental model in your mind. Okay, let's go into factor by factor. Let's first get started with latency. Okay, with latency, synchronous call, it will be lower, and for async, it will be higher. Okay, and coupling, as it is always in one-to-one communications, there'll be a tight coupling, and async is an fire and forget model. You will send some message and you will continue with other works, so it is loosely coupled. Okay, so whenever you are answering in the interview or something, you put this jargons so that people will be thinking that you have really good knowledge about this sync and async and how the communication needs to be built. Okay, scalability, it is limited because we can't able to do the parallel processing and everything, but coming to the async part, we can do that and we can achieve that. As you are right, like a Kafka or messaging medium, you can send multiple messages and it can be processed in parallel. So that's why async is scalably high. Okay, coming to the next part, consistency, it is very strong because we can make sure that you are communicated and you have received the message and it was 100% fail proof. But this is eventual, so it's also in kind of a thing. Okay, and coming to the complexity, it is simple, right? Whenever we are opened a call discussing with someone and there is an API communication between one service to another service, it is a straightforward, right? So it is complexity, it will be very simple. We don't want to worry about anyone, just we will make the call, we'll get the response. Will be aware about the request and the response both, right? So the complexity will be simple for sync call and it will be complex for async. Okay, and use cases, when you need to go for an sync for immediate response needed, then you need to definitely pick for synchronous communication. And if a processing can be wait or it can be done in parallel, in these use cases you can always pick the async communication. Okay, these are some factors, keep this in mind. And whenever you are going for an interview and if the interviewer gets into this topic, use some of these keywords and answer with that so that it will show your strength towards this topic. Okay, let's then dive into some decision tree. So how to say, this might be valuable and useful for interview preparation because people might be asking questions like this. Say for example, if you record an immediate response, you'll go for a sync or async call. So if you got this decision tree, you go through this and you are clear with this things, then you can answer the questions easily. Say for example, immediate response, as I already said, sync is a good thing. And if it is not an immediate one, then you can go to step 2, user facing critical path. Then definitely it is a sync call, because if a user is waiting for a response, then we should always pick a synchronous communication. Okay, if it is not over there, then we can go to step 3. Can that particular processing be delayed? Yes. If a processing can be delayed, then we can go with async. If not, Then you can go to step 4, and this is the fourth decision tree, high load and scalability needs. If it is an high load and scalability is required, there are more requests per second needs to be processed, then the preferred way is async. If not, if it is a low load and don't worry about the scalability, then you can go for sync. Okay, keep this in mind and prepare some interview questions and match against the tree and get out the answers and keep the things ready in your mind. Okay, let me go through some examples. Okay, yeah, let's now dive into hybrid model. Say for example, nowadays in our real use cases, we might be required to go with an hybrid model. We might be in theoretical, we might say that we can go with sync model or async model, but whenever it is coming to an real world problem, we always go with an hybrid model. This is an quite a good example. Say for example, it is an e-cart application or something where you are making that order and you are waiting for the payment. So payment user is required for that response. So he will be waiting for the response. He'll be very curious and he will be looking for the response whether the payment is success or not. So always you need to go for a synchronous and immediate communication, and whether that particular item you has picked is there or not. So it also required a sync communications. So these areas we can go ahead and we can make it a sync call, but all rest of the areas like shipping services, making this order, pushing to the shipping service, let, let it handle later. Okay, there is nothing urgent. As well as email notification or any kind of notifications, let the user finish the order. There is nothing urgency, or user might not be looking for the notification immediately. So in these cases we can go for async communications, and any other analytics for the particular company or product. For this kind of things also you can go for async communications. Okay, so quick and powerful phrases. Use synchronous communication for real-time user-driven flows and asynchronous for scalability and decoupling. Okay, yeah, thanks.